Good evening, and thank you very much for joining us for a SWE Pacific Northwest session of Ask Me Anything. I am Kat Morrill. Good evening, and thank you very much for joining us for This is Kat Morrill, and I am going to be your host tonight. And with us, we have candidates Lynette Lopez, Erin Kiselica, Sarah McDowell, Sonia Hingorany, and then Marina and Dannecker. And I apologize if I mispronounce anybody's names tonight. So just to give everybody a heads up about how we'll run this, I have a couple of questions that were submitted ahead of time. So we'll go through those, and then for anybody that is joining us live, please feel free to type your questions into the live chat window, and we will go through those as we get through, after we get through the first set of questions. Okay, so let's get started with this. So first question, and I'll just kind of step through everybody essentially one at a time to give everybody an equal opportunity to answer these questions. So first questions for the candidate. Why are you running for this position? So let's start with Lynette.
Hey guys, this is Lynette. So I'm running for the outreach committee, and it's something that I've kind of always been passionate about. When I was in college, I worked on the outreach committees for SHIP and SWE, doing a lot of activities with grade schoolers, middle schoolers, high school, whoever would let us come to their campus, really. And as a professional with this chapter of SWE, I have been the coordinator for the Expanding Your Horizons event that we do every year, where we go to 3 different events each year for middle school and high school students, and we present some engineering topics, and we've presented 2 different activities each year, usually like making a Newton's rocket car out of a balloon, or making a small electronic match game, or learning about cleaning up oil spills, things of that sort. It's really just specifically aimed at getting girls interested in
Okay, thank you, Lynette. So let's move on to Erin next. Erin?
Sure. Hi, I'm Erin, and I will be running for secretary. I wanted to get more involved in the board, as I've been on board in the past for my college group, as well as when I lived in Philadelphia. And I thought this would be a great way for me to both learn more about the section and what we have going on, and to bring my organizational skills and things I've learned in the past to help out SWE PNW.
Thank you. Great answer. Sarah.
Hi, I'm running for the outreach VP, and I really am running for this position because I'm really passionate about getting engineering into younger women's minds early on. I know that it was something that came to me a little later in my education, and I really value that opportunity, or making that opportunity known for younger women. So and in college, I was a part of outreach for the SWE organization there. I did the organization of the Girl Scout Explore Engineering Days there, and have participated in them in this PNW chapter as well. And I would really like to get some more participation in the mentoring programs that we do with different community colleges. I think that that could be a good outlet that we could expand as well in doing that for high school or younger grades as well. So thanks.
Thank you. Sonia.
Hi everyone, this is Sonia Hingorany, and I'm running for the VP of Professional Development. The reason I chose this position was because I think I've always kind of been involved with organizing the professional development type of events. Starting actually in undergrad at UCLA, that's when I got involved with SWE, and I served on the board there as the Evening with Industry chair, and I think a lot of you know what that event is, but that is really setting up kind of a unique career fair, if you will, where you bring in companies, from all over, and the students actually get to sit down and have dinner with the company. So it's kind of a more intimate setting. So I got involved doing that pretty early on. This year I've served on the SWE PNW Executive Committee as the Membership Engagement Chair. And I think it's been a good stepping stone to the VP of Professional Development position, in that I have planned events for the chapter or for the section already this year that have a professional development touch to it. I've worked with Katie, who's the current chair, on some of her events, plant tours and that kind of thing. I've set up the Amazon Prime Now plant tour that we did earlier in the year, which I think was a big hit. So I think generally I echo what Sarah said, that I'm interested in trying to promote STEM to younger women and men for that matter. And professional development, I think, is something that starts very early on and continues throughout your life. And I really do support that mission that SWE has to continue to promote that. So yeah, hoping to continue that. So thanks.
Thank you. And last but not least, Marina.
Hi everyone, I'm Marina, and I'm running for Secretary and VP of Professional Development. I joined SWE PNW in the fall, and I've really enjoyed being a part of the organization and participating in events, and also helping to plan them by being a part of the committees. And I'm running for the board because I really want to continue being involved and help give back to the organization by putting on more events and programs for our members. So I'm running for secretary because I want to help with improving the organization and use my organizational skills to help give back and empower the other officers to put on great events for our members. And then I really enjoyed being a part of the professional development committee this year. So VP of Professional Development oversees that committee. So I was involved with the events we put on this year. And I really enjoyed that role. Similar to Sonia, I also was involved. I also started getting involved in SWE when I was at UCLA and took on a lot of the professional development roles there. And I think that without SWE, I wouldn't have had a chance to develop those soft skills myself. And I really want to help put on those opportunities for our members.
Thank you very much, everybody. Those are great answers, and I appreciate everybody's interest in participating more actively in the SWE group. So next question, how do you think SWE Pacific Northwest can improve, and how will you help engage in that improvement in this position that you're running for? So let's rotate things around a little bit. We'll start with Erin this time.
Okay, sure. To me, one of the biggest challenges for SWE PNW is how large and spread out our section is. I know personally I live in Seattle and I don't have a car, so you'll probably rarely see me up at Everett, and vice versa. It's impossible to get from there into downtown right after work. So I would love to help out with that, especially as secretary. You connect the virtual brand committee back to the board. So I think that there's a lot I could do there to advocate for that virtual presence and make sure we have a good variety of events to accommodate everybody.
Thank you. Sarah next.
Hi, this is Sarah. So I think that one of the things that I would do to improve SWE PNW is kind of similar to Erin, move around the outreach events and make sure that there's a good variety of location and ages. And I think that the age group is something that the outreach committee is already doing very well. I think that the location could vary a little bit more, and really make sure that we're connecting with the schools that we're involved with, and make sure that when we're signing up for the mentoring programs that we have attendance, and that the programs are really being worth everyone's time, students or volunteers, and it's something that everyone feels like they're getting something out of. And I think that that's an ongoing process, and I always would welcome feedback on ideas and ideas for more involvement. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Thanks.
Thank you. Sonia next.
Yeah, so this is an interesting question, and I really do think after kind of being on the EC for a year, what I've really noticed is that you know, we have a lot of members. I think we struggle with making sure that members are active, and I think, you know, one of the things we really need to and I actually think we have a great variety of events, and I think that there's definitely room for improvement. And I think the way that we improve, and I think these ladies, Erin and Sarah, spoke to it, but is, you know, coming up with events that are in different locations. I know it's hard for everybody to travel after work and on the weekends, transportation-wise and that kind of thing, but spreading out events and really soliciting feedback from the members on what events you know, they would like to participate in, and what events they would like to see more of. And so we've started to do that, I think, this year, and we've gotten some really good feedback. From a professional development perspective, you know, I think we actually do a great job with plant tours, and we've had, you know, some speakers. I would really like to see and try to organize some more speaker events, you know, collaborate more with some of the companies in the Pacific Northwest. You know, you've got Boeing, Microsoft, Amazon. I think there's definitely room to collaborate more. And also, you know, kind of looking at more professional development training, more catered to the individual. So whether that means resume reviews, cover letter reviews, mock interviews, and, you know, executive, I think, coaching, I think, is something that a lot of people are really looking for. And I think that there's a lot of room you know, in the PD space to kind of offer those events. And, you know, I would say overall, the overall organizational challenge I see, though, is kind of retaining active membership. And I think, you know, getting feedback from members is the way to increase the participation. So thanks.
Thank you. Marina next.
One thing I'd like to see SWE PNW do more of is target the recent grad group. So I'd love to work with the collegiate relations director to talk to college students who are graduating, and then also find the recent grads and show them how they can make the transition from being a collegiate member to a professional member. What's different about that experience of being a professional member in SWE versus a collegiate? Since there are a lot of different activities and the ways that you get involved are slightly different, and also switching more over to virtual events because not everyone's on the same campus. It's just a very different setup as a society. And then for me personally, I feel like I get most involved and most attached to organizations when I have a chance to be directly involved in events. And I think it would be great if we could put together information to our members early on, and not just around election time, about here are all the ways that you can get involved everyone has a lot of different commitments in their life. So some people want more active positions, and then some people want to like more of a monthly volunteer opportunity. And if we could kind of put together a guide of here's how you can get involved with SWE based on your time commitment, so that people feel like it's easy to get involved, and then when they want to get involved, they know how to.
Thank you very much, Marina. And finally, Lynette.
Yeah, that's a tough one to go last on. Everyone's made a lot of really great points. People have really hit the nail on the head. You know, we see a lot of people joining because when you're as the best in town, even personally going up to people that I know would love to participate, getting people to that we might be able to, you know, that's how I got hooked into SWE and to EYH. Is one person convinced me to go to an event once, and especially those outreach events, they really, you know, seeing the excitement on those girls' faces and seeing the potential difference that you're making can make all the difference in your level of commitment going forward. So I think even if we could just, you know, focus on scattering out more events like other people have talked about, and then really reaching out more with our social media. I know, like, when we're looking for volunteers for EYH, we use this site called Eventbrite that a lot of SWE members are logged onto, but you know, maybe pushing harder on Facebook or on Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever it is that our members are using regularly, and finding ways to make personal invitations, you know. And I know that it's cumbersome because we have tons of members, but maybe challenging ourselves to make it to reach out to people personally, even if we do it just on a regular cadence or something like that. Yeah, I think it's all about getting members to participate in even one event. I think will lead to a lot future participation, and they tell their friends and get, you know, their networks involved. So yeah, I really just mostly just agree with a lot of the points everyone else has made.
Thank you very much, Lynette. I appreciate that. Okay, moving on to the next question. What motivates you to participate in SWE, and more specifically, the SWE Pacific Northwest section? So let's start with Sarah this time.
Hi, this is Sarah. So I'll try to keep this short and simple because really what motivates me to be involved in SWE is the networking and being able to be around other women in engineering in such great amounts. I mean, I don't see that in my day to day, and so it's really a place of support and a place where I can go and get feedback and feel welcome. And I really like having that network and being able to bounce ideas off of other smart ladies. And that's something that I would hope to continue with not just our chapter, but in the outreach program as well, with working with young women. Thanks.
Thank you. Sonia next.
You know, SWE is actually really important for me because I think that, you know, like Sarah said, it's nice to be around like-minded women that you can kind of share, you know, different ideas with, and, you know, your professional experiences, and even personally, I think it's important to kind of have that, that network, you know. And so it's been important for me, you know, for a long time because, you know, when I was growing up, I had two older cousins who, females that pursued STEM, and they were really my role models. I think growing up, I saw what they did, and I got really encouraged to study sciences and engineering. I think it's really important to promote that and to expose young girls and boys too to that opportunity. And I think it's important to do that at a very young age. You know, when they're young, and you know, I love our Explore Engineering events because that's basically what they're catered to do, and continue to promote that through your career. So SWE for me is it's been great in my life, and I think I like to give back. You know, to folks that are interested in pursuing it and just kind of need a little bit of support and encouragement. Thank you.
Thank you. Marina.
Me and SWE, such a supportive community, and it's given me a lot of opportunities to grow as a leader and meet so many amazing women. And then for SWE PNW specifically, I think a lot of us in the Seattle area have all moved here from other places. So for me, it's been a great way to meet more people in the area and build up my network here. And also, I just love that SWE PNW has given me the chance to try so many new things over the last year. Like this past year, through SWE events, I tried glass blowing, and I took a martial arts class and went to an improv workshop, and those are things I'd never done before. And I just love that SWE gives you the chance to try these new things and grow as a person, and also meet other amazing women leaders.
Thank you, Marina. Lynette.
I think for me, being kind of the outsider in any group, as we all know that women in engineering tend to be, having a community that is so open and welcoming like SWE really makes a huge difference, and seeing other women doing these amazing things is something that I think can help, especially young girls. Like some of these other girls have said, you know, getting introduced to it when you're young makes a huge difference. I got into engineering because of an activity like that. You know, was not anybody in my day-to-day life that said maybe you should be an engineer. It was, I saw a flyer for something that sounded cool, and I went to it, and then my mind was blown seeing all these different things that engineers can do. And I think the only way we're gonna get more women in STEM careers is to build up that pipeline. And I think the more organizations that are working towards that goal, the better. And I think SWE is really a leader in that area. And regardless of whether I'm on the board or just a member, I really wholeheartedly believe in all of these events, and of course the professional development aspect as well, so that the women that already are in these careers have support networks to go even farther.
Thank you very much, Lynette. And then Erin.
Sure. I'm obviously going to reiterate a lot of what was already said. For me, being involved is about giving back. I'm super passionate about STEM education. Giving more young women in particular a chance to get into the pipeline, I think is so important. And there's like lots of great opportunities for that through SWE, both at the SWE PNW level. I volunteer on the outreach task force. And then at the society level, I was recently helping judge scholarships, which is so awesome. And the other part is, of course, the community. I moved here about a year and a half ago now from Philadelphia, and I was able to really quickly connect with all kinds of great women in this area. And it gives you those opportunities to get all the diverse perspectives. I love being able to talk to engineers from all the different disciplines and see like what's going on with them and what kind of ideas I can leverage in my own life. And there's lots of great opportunities for that here.
Thank you very much, Erin. Thank you for everybody's answers. Those are really great. It's inspirational to see what other people are motivated to participate with SWE by. Okay, the last question I have from previous is, how do you think SWE Pacific Northwest can have an impact on the general Pacific Northwest community? So we will start with Sonia this time.
That's a good question. So I think, you know, something that is really unique about the Pacific Northwest is that we have some pretty amazing companies co-located in this area, right? So Boeing, Microsoft, and Amazon are three big ones, and then not to mention so many others. You know, I think, again, I'll talk about it from more of a professional development perspective. I really want to try to increase our collaboration with different companies in the area. I think that's a great way to reach out to a broader audience, and actually not even really limit that to just, you know, technology companies and engineering companies, but really try to see other organizations, you know, in Seattle, in the community that we can partner with for different, you know, volunteer events and that kind of thing. You know, we reach a certain audience, I think, you know, for membership, and that really is more, you know, engineers. I think it's important in technology and engineering companies, but I think it's important to promote our mission even outside of that particular audience. And I think the way to do that is to, you know, partner with different organizations in the area. So Explore Engineering is a great event, I think, where we could potentially partner with, you know, let's just say Girl Scouts of America, right? And expose the girls involved in that organization to STEM. I mean, I think that would be a great way to kind of get outside of the audience that we tend to cater to and reach a new audience. So looking for those opportunities, I think, to partner with different organizations, again, leveraging, you know, the folks we do have at the technology companies and increasing our presence in collaboration with those companies is an opportunity. And that's what I would kind of like to be able to do this year. So I like the question too.
Thank you very much, Sonia. Marina.
So I think one of the biggest ways that we can impact our community is through our outreach activities. Then we can inspire the next generation of engineers in the Pacific Northwest. I also think SWE does a great job of providing a network for female engineers here, since there are so many engineering companies, and oftentimes where there's not a lot of other women in your team or your group, but SWE lets you meet other engineers outside of your company and provides that support that really helps women stay in engineering. And one thing I like about how SWE sets up its events is that they're all public on Eventbrite. So I've seen a lot of non-SWE members show up to events, and then they learn about what SWE is, and that helps to educate the public about our mission, who we are, and what we do. And hopefully, if they know any female engineers in their life, or if they are a female engineer, they'll be able to know about SWE as a resource and a group to get involved with. So yeah, so that's how I think we can impact our community.
Thank you, Marina. Next up, Lynette.
I think that being in the Pacific Northwest really puts this SWE group at an advantage, because especially in the news today, we hear so much about the lack of women leaders in tech industry. And we have, like mentioned before, you know, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Boeing, all these huge tech companies. And we really have the opportunity to, through our, you know, SWE chapter and other organizations like that, to lead the way and to show that women can and should and do succeed in leadership in these big technical organizations. And then the other thing for Seattle and for the Pacific Northwest specifically is we have a lot of a big refugee community and a big immigrant community, and getting those girls involved in STEM careers, it can have a huge impact on not just our community, but, you know, the community of the whole world. And I know there's an organization that I've done some work with at the UW Women's Center specifically that a lot of SWE members are a part of, that they partner up, you know, engineers and other professionals with young students that are in high school that are mostly, they're immigrants or refugees, and their families really don't know anything about navigating the high school and college system. So they partner up with them and they take them to college campuses. They teach them how to, you know, they tell them about studying for the SAT. They talk to them about financial aid and about the application process. and they've, you know, really succeeded in opening up those doors for a community that otherwise would really never have those. So I think we're already having a huge impact in the community, and we have even more opportunities to do so.
Thank you, Lynette. Erin.
Yeah, I agree with everyone that we have a really great opportunity here. There's so many great companies, and I think we have a lot of power spread out amongst those places. But you should also remember that like engineers work in a lot of unexpected places, and we can leverage that as well. I used to work at an investment company, and we were able to like leverage engineers from there to help people with retirement planning and things like that, which everybody has a vested interest in. So overall, I think SWE PNW can just like look at our huge network of people and figure out what they can share across the community, and that we have some great opportunity there.
Thank you, Erin. And then finally, Sarah.
Hi, this is Sarah. Yeah, I also really like that question. I think that it's really important to remember who we represent and what communities we're impacting. And I think that a few ways that or a few ideas that I have about how I would help impact the Pacific Northwest community, specifically through the VP of Outreach, is maybe pull our members and get their locations and connections to any schools or groups like Girl Scouts that they would be willing to volunteer at, and kind of get little pockets of localized volunteer groups that can continue in certain neighborhoods or communities, because I think repeat volunteers can be really important for that role model aspect of girls learning about new fields with all ages. And another thought is to, I think someone mentioned this earlier, but think about more speaker events that we could offer for girls of all ages, elementary, middle school, high school, community college. I know we do the mentoring nights at community college or Explore Engineering. Maybe elaborate on one of those events a year or so, a couple a year, get someone from our community, from the SWE community, sorry, to go to those and talk about what they do and see if they can really spark some curiosity from these young girls. And another idea I think would be to really keep the lines of communication open with all of the local colleges that have SWE groups already, because I know that was something I valued as a college member, was being able to reach out to local, or actually it was alumni SWE members from my old school who are still involved. We could contact them, and that was really cool. I was trying to figure out what I even wanted to do with my engineering degree, and just to get a professional perspective as a college member was really nice. And so just to make sure that those local college groups know that they have someone or some members to reach out to, I think would be great. Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Sarah. Okay, so we don't have any other questions waiting for us. So I'd like to just take a couple more minutes and give everybody just one more opportunity if you have any final things you want to say to close out the session, and then we will be done. So we will start with Marina.
Thanks for listening, everyone. I'm really excited for the opportunity to get more involved with the section. Like I said before, I'm running for Secretary and VP of Professional Development, and I can't wait to help put on more events and programs that make this a section even better than it already is.
Thank you, Marina. Next, Lynette.
Yeah, same thing. Just thanks everyone for the great conversation. It's actually been really uplifting, and I think I needed that. It's nice to know that so many women are out there fighting for us every day, and whatever capacity I am with SWE in this year, like I said, I've challenged myself to really participate more. So if you've got any events, send them my way.
Thank you, Lynette. Erin.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you all for listening. I'm excited to be more involved and help keep us organized through all our endeavors, especially this year with the region transitions coming up. Excited to be involved with that and looking forward to anything that's coming.
Thank you, Erin. Sarah.
Hi, everyone. Thanks again for listening. And I hope that I answered any questions you might have. This is something that I am really excited about. I love being involved with SWE, and I've worked with the exec committee this year a little bit on judging or chairing the Certificate of Merit Scholarship Awards, and gotten kind of a taste of how it works. And I am really excited about the possibility of being more involved, and specifically when it comes to outreach, because that's something that I really like doing. So yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll hope to see you at one of the events soon.
Thank you. And then Sonia.
Thanks everybody for listening again, and thanks to Kat, Teresa, VBT team for organizing this. I think it's a nice forum for us to be able to have a good discussion and kind of let the members know, you know, what we would like to do this year as part of SWE PNW. So just to wrap up quickly, I'm running for VP of Professional Development. You know, really excited about the opportunity to you know, continue to work on the EC and work with members. You know, I think we have a great section already. I think we do a lot of great events. We have some really great participation. So, you know, would like to maintain that and do anything that I can to keep improving all the events and the things we do for professional development. So thank you again.
Thank you. So thank you everybody for listening in, and thank you especially to the candidates for taking the time to join us tonight and answer all of our questions. So that concludes our broadcast. Everybody have a really great evening.